Hey everyone, welcome to another video with me, Andy. Hope you're all doing well. And in today's video we are going to be doing a fly that, to be honest, I hadn't used it much. Just move this light. Up until a couple of weeks ago I literally didn't use it. It's been sat in my box and yeah, I've never used it. And then I thought, sod it, I'll try it as a point fly. And I got 6 fish and 6 casts on this fly. And then obviously my fishing day was finished. I had to go home. So since then I've used it a few times and continued to catch fish on it. So I thought I would show you all it. If I was actually trying to find my bobbin. There we go, I found the correct bobbin now. So the hook we're using here, this is a trout line. This is the DJS 350. This is a number 14. It's a wide gape one. I use this on the point because it sinks like a stone, this fly. And I find for some reason the wide gape don't seem to catch the bottom as much. Don't know why that is. Maybe there's some science behind it, but I don't know why. But it just doesn't catch the bottom as much. Bead I've got in here, this is a 4mm slotted tungsten bead, again by Troutline. And the thread I'm using, difficult to see, just to start off with, is this Textreme. This is 6/0 in black. Now I'm going to get the bead positioned correctly, and we'll just start our thread. Just do a few wrap turns, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to pinch the bead and just do a few more wraps just to make sure that bead's secured in nicely. When it is, take my thread back down halfway, come in, trim off my excess. Now for my little leggy things, I'm going to be using these. These are Vineyard Silli legs. I think I've got a fresh packet to show somebody. Is there a fresh packet anywhere? Come on, Andrew. There we go. This isn't the exact colour, but that's what I'm using. Oh. So these are the Silli legs. So we're going to use those. Now, I usually have one that I've already trimmed, but you don't need a lot of this, so I'm literally going to grab a small piece. Literally, that's all I grab, just a small little piece of it, because you don't need much. I then fold it over, so the ends are touching, so you've now got a loop. And I then tie it in, and just stretch it slightly. Don't pull it too wide, because you'll snap it. Just stretch it down the shank until you're happy with it, and just take your thread and wind it back up. Now don't wind over these excess pieces. I usually pull them tight or rip them off. It's not snapping, so I'll snap it myself, and then just continue the thread up. Now I need to create like a flat spot here, so I'm just going to wind the thread down just to get rid of that like bump where the silicone legs were. And now I'm creating like a taper in the body. So I've gone down, as you notice I stopped there. Now I'll wind back and I'll stop short of where my finger is. I'll move my finger to the point where I started again. Go back up, go back down, again stop short, I'll move my finger. And then go back. I'm just going to create like I want a slight depression here. As you can see, I've got a slight depression. I want that, and you'll see why in a minute. Once my thread drops into the depression, I'm just going to do a 2 or 3 turn whip finish and trim off the excess. Now next step, what I like to do at this point is just come in and just trim my legs. So there's your legs, you've got your two legs sticking out there. Now next step of the fly, we're going to grab this is some Textreme 8/0, and this is fluorescent hot orange. I love this thread. It's exactly the same colour as the Glow Bright, pretty much. Actually, for some reason that actually looks pink. It's not pink, it's the same colour, and you're looking at it with your naked eye, so I don't know why it looks pink, but it's the same colour anyway. I'm going to start this behind the bead. Just do a few thread wraps over. Come in with your skizzers. Trim off the excess, and now what we're doing is we're just making a nice little hot spot behind the bead. I like to get quite a nice few turns on here. It's just basically because the black makes it dull if you use like a black base. So if I do a few turns and you're going orange and orange, so as you keep turning the thread it'll get brighter and brighter. So now once I've finished, just grab your whip finish tool. That slipped, didn't want it to slip. And just whip it behind the bead. Yeah, it slips slightly, but It's not the end of the world. Probably get to see that on there. It slipped very slightly, but it doesn't matter because we're going to use some resin. Now I'm actually going to try and use, this is actually a new bottle of Thinman. You'll be happy with me, new bottle of Thinman. You'll probably see another video maybe after this one where I'm still using the old bottle of Thinman, but it's fine. It's just the way I've recorded them. And this one comes with I'm using the brush applicator on this one. It's actually the first time I've used the brush applicator, but I'm just going to brush this on. Just basically going around, dabbing it, making sure I've got the coverage I need. I'm just going to make sure I put the top back on because I've got my wind curtains open. So what we do now is just turn the vise just to get an even coverage, and then grab my UV torch and come in. As you can see, look how bright that hotspot is under the UV light. It's unbelievably bright, this that stuff. And just set the resin. Very simple fly this one, but as I said, it sinks like a stone because of the way its profile is. I'm sure these legs probably wiggle in the water, which makes it quite attractive to fish. And there we go, it's nicely set. As always, I'm dropping everything here. Everybody knows me, and I always like to use varnish over the top. My personal preference. And there we have it. There is your silly leg nymph. Whose car that is outside, but it's somebody's car. So yeah, there you have it. Thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed this. Give this fly a go, especially if you want your flies to sink nice and quick. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video.